Hello and welcome to a new series about loops. So in this particular video, we are going to start learning about loops. So we are going to mainly focus on 3 points. So the first one is going to be to understanding the loops because loops are so complicated. So we need to understand the logic behind them, and after that we have to make at least 10 exercises so you can understand it and go apply it without any problems. The second point of this video is going to be the loop setup. So we're going to do a setup in Flutter of a simple, like we're going to take a very simple example. We're going to apply it inside of Flutter, and after that we have to test as always. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So in order for you to understand this, let's start with a very simple example. Here we have 3 kids or 3 children, and each one of them, as you can see on the top, they have numbers, right? So the first one has 1, then the girl has 2, and the last boy has 3. So, and on the other hand, we have 3 bars of chocolate. So we have to give each one his chocolate bar. But the problem is that a robot is going to do that, not a human being. So we have to program this particular robot. So he will give each child a chocolate bar. So now it's a challenge for us because we have to program a machine. We don't want to tell a human being what to do. We are now going to program a machine to give each child a chocolate bar. So let's see how that goes. So the robot, so what is the goal? Like, this is our goal. So the goal is that the robot will start to loop over the children, and with each loop he will give a child a chocolate bar. Like, he will do some turns, like he will turn, like his first turn he will give the first one a chocolate bar, the second turn he will give the girl a chocolate bar, and in the third turn he will give the last boy a chocolate bar. So he is not a human being. He needs to make some loops, and with each loop he gives one a chocolate bar. So let's see how it goes. So now we have some problems in programming this particular robot. So what are these problems? So the first one is going to be how many times it should loop. That's a big question, like how many times. So we have 3 children, so the robot will loop only 10 times. 3 times, because let's say it loops 4 times. In the 4th loop, it won't find any new kid who haven't got a chocolate bar. And what is the result of that? Is that it will crush. It won't say, hey, there is nobody, so I will stop. No, it will crash because the way we program it was supposed that we have a 4th kid. So it is very important to make sure that you give it a limit. It does not have to loop forever. It has to loop to a certain point. So the first information that we have to give this robot is the limit. So it's very important. So the limit is what is 3. So because each particular loop needs to have a limit, that's for sure. So, but we need to have, we need to ask and answer a second question, which is which kid to give. Like, he will turn. The robot does not recognize faces. Like, he does not have eyes or camera to recognize faces. He does only know numbers. Like, he knows the kid by his number. So each kid has a number, right? So he will start from 1, like from 1 to 3, right? So the second information we are going to install in his memory is going to be child number, which is in this case equal to 1. Good. Now please keep this in mind because we are going to use it a lot. So now here is the biggest start of our loop. So the robot will loop not forever, but only as long as the child number is less than the limit, right? So the child number is a variable. It will change, as you will see in the future. So the child number will go 1. The next loop it will become 2. Next loop it will become 3. So the child number is how the robot counts how many kids he has given the chocolate bar, or the number of the next kid to whom he has to give a chocolate bar. So now let's see the loop and let's see how it works. So here we have the initial state. So the robot will pick up a chocolate bar, but have a look at what are the data above his head. So the limit is 3 and the child number is equal to 1. Because he will start with 1, 2, 3, right? He will start from the bottom to the top. So what he will do is that he will go to the child with the number is equal to 1. because the child number is what is 1. So he will give him that chocolate bar. And then what happens? So can you pause the video and see the difference between the initial stage of the robot and the final stage? And of course, don't tell me that we don't have a chocolate bar in the last robot. That's ridiculous. So have a look at what's different. So the thing that is different is the child number. It was incremented. Why? Because keep in mind that if you are using a loop, so the variable will try to get closer to the limit as much as possible. If the limit is 5, then with each loop we are going to increment 1, then 1 until we get to 5, because when you get to the limit, you stop the loop, which is what we are looking for. So he has now given the chocolate to the first kid, and we are going to increment the child number. So now is the condition approved? So if you don't remember what is the condition, so let's take a look at the condition. Here it is. It's the one at the bottom. So we are going to run the loop as long as the child number is less than or equal to the limit. So is 2 less than or equal to the limit, or is 2 is less than or equal to 3? Yes, it is. So what we are going to do, we are going to start a new loop. This time the limit is 3, but the child number is 2. And now what we are going to be doing is that we are going to give the chocolate to the girl because she has 2. Her number is 2, right? So, but what will happen after that? We are going to increment the child number. But once we finish the loop, we need to check if the condition is approved. What do you think? Is it approved? Of course, yes, it is. So 3 is less than or equal to 3. So it is not less than, but it is equal to 3. 3 is equal to 3. So the condition is approved. So what we do, we run the last loop. This time we are going to start with the limit equal to 3. The child number is also equal to 3. Give it to the last boy. Now we are going to increment the child number, but this time we have broken the condition because 4 is neither less or equal to 3. We have broken the loop. So what it means, broken the loop, it means that you will get out of it. You have finished the job, right? So now the robot has given all chocolate bars to all kids using a simple loop. So to recap, limit the loop. That's the first thing. So each loop must have a limit. Otherwise, it will run forever. Sorry about that, but it will run forever if it does not have a limit. So it's like a car. Like it does not have a speed limiter, it will go, like as long as it has fuel, it can go without any limits. So we need limits. So we need to specify the child. With each loop, we need to know the child, aka the row we want to update or the operation we want to perform. Like with each loop, you don't need to give a child a chocolate, and you don't need to necessarily update a row. You can choose whichever operation like you like. We're going to use some multiple examples in the future, so just make sure you stay tuned. So the condition is very important because without the condition, like we could have run forever. Again, let me remind you of that. As you can see that what makes us move from a loop to another is when the condition is approved. Let's see at the right side of the screen. So whenever the condition is approved, we can move on. But here, as you have noticed, once the condition was broken, we were out of the loop. So the condition is very important, and don't worry, this is a very simple example. We will dive into it later. So now the robot will ask you, do you want some chocolate bars? Oops, I don't have any. Why he does not have any chocolate bar left for you? Because he has given them all to the children. So you are late. Next time you need to come first. So before we move on, I hope you have enjoyed this small and funny presentation. And next time, make sure you come first so that I can give you a chocolate bar anyway. So please don't move on until you have done one thing, please. So if you are interested in learning no code and getting to the next level, make sure you join my free newsletter. It's in the description. Make sure to join my free and weekly newsletter. It's in the description down below. If you do that, you are going to get a lot of benefits for completely free. So again, the link is in the description down below. Don't forget to check that out. So here we have our old project that we used for reordering, like that 3 videos series that we did on reordering. Now it's time for us to jump into loops. So now we have a very simple, like a kind of, a project that we have a list of products here and we have their prices. Now, what is the catch? Like now we want to do what? Like we want to increment the price of each product. Like each one will have its price. So we want to add $5 to each of them. It's very simple. Like this is the starting point. And again, this is a very big spoiler alert. Please, loops are in various shapes and you need to learn them all if you want to get ahead of everybody. And this means that we need to make at least 4 videos in this series of loops, because this is only part 1. We will take our time, learn and see various scenarios and cases, so you won't have any problem no matter where situation we have put you in. So actually, let's get started now. And we had some actions like from the last video, of course. Now what to do, like this button has to increment the price of all of these. Now let me walk you through that, because if you have been following with me how we did the reordering videos, like you could understand this, but let me walk you through it very quickly, right? So here we have a homepage. It has a backend query here on products. So when it comes to the products, we have mainly just like a bunch of products. Let me show it to you here inside Supabase. So here we have just a bunch of products and we have their prices, and the index was a field used to make the previous tutorials. We don't need it in this video whatsoever, but this is just to help you have a look at that. And here we have the backend query. We are querying all the products, and here we have a dynamic children which it's just like it's coming from here. Like we're taking all the products, turning them into a list view. Like it's the same if we put this backend query here, but if we put this backend query here on the list view, we cannot have access to it from this button. So this button will need the backend query. So it's good to put it on the top widget. But if we put it here, the button will not have access to it. You might ask me why? Because the button is not a child of the list view. So since it is not its child, it cannot inherit whatever is here. But since the button is definitely a child or a grandchild of the homepage, it can inherit the data from here. So now this was just a quick tour of the project. Now let's now move on and see how we can apply a loop. So let's go to the action flow of this button and let's configure. So let's actually just apply what we saw in the presentation. So what was the first thing? The first thing is to know the limit and the variable. Our case, the variable was the child number. Now the variable is going to change, right? Because the loops can be in various ways. It depends on the scenario you are in. The example I gave you in the presentation was just to give you a good start with loops, because they are very complex, but you can get around it. It's very easy. It's complex, but once you get it like around it, it's gonna be easy, right? So now let's actually go here, and the first thing to do is that, so in this case, like it's gonna be a bit different. Like if you have watched the reordering part, then you are going. So the reordering series is a 3 video series. We used loops so extensively. I think that this one might be the same one. So let's have a look. So the first thing to do is that we want to know the limit. So what is the limit? The limit has to be what? Is gonna be the number of products, right? So now we knew the limit. Now we know the limit. So what's going to be the variable? The thing that changes and that gets us close to the limit. So in our case was the child number 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was getting us close to the limit. So we need a variable in this case. So why not go with 1? Just a random, like 1. Let's go with 1, right? So the problem here, so if you want to go with 1, like here's the problem. So in our case, like we had children's, right? And each one we had 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But there were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is not the case. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. We don't have from the smallest to the biggest. So we cannot do that. We can, if we started from 1, we will not find that product. If we start from 4, from 3, for example, let's say we started from 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, what is 7, what is 8, right? I made that on purpose to show you that you cannot count on that. So, but what do you notice? Don't you notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Like, have you noticed that? So we have it. So we have this. As I told you, we are going to do multiple ways of loops, multiple cases of loops. But let's start with 1 at least. So, like, the limit is the number. It's almost always the number of items. So it's in this case 5. So what is the starting point? Like, what's the starting point or the variable? So the starting point is 1. Like, it's 1. Like, you are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you go to 6, you are going to break the rule, and that's it. So let's do that. But we need to actually save these in some stage, right? And again, if you don't know stage, but if you want me to make an in-depth video, I think that somebody has already asked me to do that. But if you are really interested in states, then let me know. So here it is stage. So want to say, for example, number of what? So let's just say limit. The limit as an integer, and we have the variable. Good, it's an integer as well. So when you click here, when you want to add the price, so the first thing is to save. So the robot, we save the limit and child number in his memory. Save info. So we want to go to paste stage and save that there. So what is going to be the limit? The limit, so we have a button, we have this one, so we can just get number of items or number of products in this case. So variable, set the value to what? So the variable is going to be what? So where do you want to start from? We want to start from 1. Okay, we have done that. Now let's start the loop. So the loop here, we want to do the loop condition. So what was the previous loop condition? It was what? It was actually as long as the child number, which was the variable, is less than or equal to the limit, right? So the variable is less than or equal to the limit. So it's like click here and paste stage. Variable is less than or equal to the limit. Good. So you might ask me why we are using some states. So, comment down below and I will make a video for that. Then you can understand. All right. So it's going to be loop condition. As long as what? So can you translate that, please? Of course. So as long as the variable is less than or equal to the limit. Yeah, right. There is no translation here, right? It's very simple. So now here's the operation. Like we save the info, we do the condition, here we do the operation. So in our case, what was the operation? The operation is to increment what? We wanted to increment the price. It's a bit complicated, but it's the operation we want. So the operation is what differs between from a loop to another. You can have, like, for example, chain loops. They might have the same this step and this step, but the operation might be different, and it should be different. Otherwise, why we have multiple loops? So here we have action 2. Now, what is the thing that we want to actually increment the product, the price? So in order for us to increment the price, we need to first know the price, then we can increment the price. So know it first, then increment it. So we want to read the product. So read it. So because we want to actually have its data. So yes, it's read. Right. So let's read row. So where it's supposed to be? Yes, it's query. Sorry, it was query row. So the product, and we need to specify. Like now we have some products. And as I told you, we want to start from 1. So the starting point was 1. So we want to query the product with index is equal to 1. And as I told you, you don't always have indexes. Some people do not know how to use indexes. Some apps might not have indexes. This is why I will make a lot of videos just for loops. Good. And also, indexes are super, super, super important. If you want me to make a video about indexes, just let me know. I will do that for you, because nobody will tell you indexes. Nobody will tell you what they do, because most people are just working for themselves. For me, I want to work for you. I want to help you learn, because it took me time. I don't want it to take your time as well. I'm here to help you. So we want to filter. We want to query which products. We want to query where we want to query a product where the index is equal to what? Not to 1. It's not 1. It's equal to what? To the variable, right? Why the variable? Because the variable is 1. And once we finish this loop, the variable will become true. So the next loop, we are going to query this product. Like the next time we are going to increment the variable, it will become 3. Where we are going to be querying this product. The next loop, we are going to increment the variable. It will become 4. We will be querying this product. And finally, the last loop, we are going to increment the variable, which will become 5, and we are going to be querying this product. You see? Because if we set it to 1 like this, with each loop, we are going to query the same product. The same, we are going to be just incrementing the same product. So, and we just want product here. We specify which product we want. So we want to say current product. So now we know the price. Let's update the price. Update the price. So I want to say update row. It's products. So I want to specify which product. So the same one we query here, we will update here. It's the same one. So where the index is equal to what? So it's equal to variable. Good. So here we want to update which field? It's the price. So we want to use a code expression. Again, if you don't know a code expression, comment down below. I will make a video for you in the next week. So here we say code expression. And by the way, sometimes when you comment, that video might have already uploaded. So search in the channel first. Once you don't find it, then comment below. So now we're going to say old price. All right, just like that. The old price is going to be like an integer. So what is the value of the old price? So we have an action. We query it like here. It is the current product. We query that action. We give it a name for the output. This is the product we are querying. Like we want to check. Just this is the biggest problem. Like here, you are querying how much products? Only 1. So just go with it. Just follow my lead. Don't ask me why. So when you do that, when you query, you have a product, then Flatflow thinks you are querying a list, but this is querying only 1. So since it is 1, go with item at index first, last. They are the same because the first one is the last one. And check the field. It's going to be price. That's the old price. Added price. So the added price is going to be coming from where? From that particular text field. Good. So now what is going to be the new price here? The new price is the old price plus what? Added price. Good. So let's check it. Check if we have errors. No. Okay, from now these two contributes in making what we call operation. Now what we have done, let's say we had 1 variable was 1. We queried the product with index is equal to variable which is equal to 1. We updated his price. Then want to increment the variable. Why we do that? Because the last step is what I call the loop breaker. So the loop breaker, what it does? So what it does, so its job is to get this variable closer to the limit. Variable was 1, limit was 5. So how to get this variable closer to the limit? is by incrementing it, is by adding 1 to it, right? If this sign was the opposite, was variable less than the limit, then we are going to be decrementing it. So always get this variable or to the limit. That's it. That is it. So this is what we do. So this is the last part of the loop, which is called loop breaker. So we want to paste it and choose the variable and click here, increment by 1. So it's smaller than this based on the condition, so we increment it. If it was bigger, then we decrement it. We say -1. But let's go with 1. Good. Finally, let's actually go and test it. So while the test is running, let's have a quick chat. Don't worry. So I wanted to say that some people here on YouTube who are just coming to learn, when they see a video that is maybe 30 minutes long, they say, hey, that's too much. Let me find just a video with 5 to 9 minutes. So for me, I would like to do such videos. Like, I am trying to do that so I can make it easier for that kind of people. But I want you, if you are one of them, but surely you are not one of them because you've watched this video and it's too long. Like, one part was almost the quarter of an hour. Yeah, the last part was too long. But anyway, like, I wanted to tell you something because like, if you want to learn, like, if your goal in life what was to build something good, was to continually learn, then you have to get comfortable with long videos, because those short videos may not give you what you are looking for. They will just give you a quick fix, maybe sometimes like something like that, but they won't give you some really good value. The long videos will definitely go in details and explain to you everything. I could have made this video in 5 minutes, so I could have skipped the presentation and went through to step by step. Hey, do this, and do this. So we will finish. We will go straight to the test. And when you go to apply that, you will not understand what is a loop breaker, what is a loop condition, and blame yourself because you wanted a quick video and we give it to you. So you cannot do anything with that. You will just waste more time. But if you watch a long video, I will give you all the details. I will explain to you. I will take the time to explain to you. When you go, you won't come back. Why should you come back? Because I have already explained that to you. You won't have any problem. So this is something I wanted to say and congratulate you for keeping on, right? So now we missed one thing, which is that when you add a price, just refresh the app to see the new prices. Just a quick refresh. So app stage, we saw this previously. So we had the refresh stage. We just set the value to a random string, like just a random string, whatever it was, random string. So 1020, turn on, confirm. So when you do this, we're gonna refresh the app. When the app is refreshed, you see those changes in prices, right? Because with Supabase, when you make change, you need to just refresh the app instantly, because the changes are made, but in the back end, not in the front end. So remember that we have zeros in all of them. So when you get 5, let's click here. You see if 5 was added. Let me do this. Let me try. Yes. Oops. Yes, it's working. Good. That's really good. So it's 15. Nice. It's working, guys. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that it's working. But please, some of you might not be happy at this time. I know, because you might not get the idea. But please, this is just the first episode. I will make some parts, some like maybe 6, maybe 7 videos, just to get in depth in loops. Because for me, loops are like a huge part of my personal app, of my habit tracking app, which is called Commitment. You can find more about in the description below of my app, so if you want to try it out. But maybe you are watching this while it is still private. Don't worry, if you join my newsletter, I will notify you once it is published. Like, if you want to try it so you can support me and help me, like maybe just get more users, I will really appreciate that, and you will see what I am building, right? So this will just give you an idea of who I am, right? So thank you so much for watching. I have really enjoyed this session. Like, now I'm just smiling because it worked finally. In the next few videos, we are going to do the same, but in a different way. So no matter what app we give you, you can apply the loop to it. So thank you so much for watching. please and please don't leave until you have joined my free weekly newsletter. Please, that's going to be very, very helpful. Like, I can give you something that nobody can give you, and for completely free. All you have to do is to put your email and read the emails I will send you every week, and that is it. It will help you a lot. I wish somebody did that to me, so I could have saved some time, but nobody did. But I am here to give you that opportunity to save your time, to make you way, way better than me. So thanks so much for watching. To join the newsletter, the first link in the description down below. And thank you so much, and see you in the next video.